Over this past weekend, we lost someone very important to NASCAR, specifically Joe Gibbs Racing. Someone who helped out the organization and create a lot of young stars throughout the history and modern era of NASCAR, I should say. And it's with heavy hearts that we memorialize Coy Gibbs, and our thoughts and prayers are with the entire Joe Gibbs family, and most importantly, Ty Gibbs, as I can't imagine what he is going through. So we will share a little moment of silence for him, specifically 20 seconds, as that's one of his many truck numbers that he drove throughout his career.
What's up, motorsports fans from around the world? Welcome back to the Driving in Circles podcast, episode 4. This week, it's only going to be me and Cory. We could not find James. We tried reaching out to him. He's just been silent ever since Friday night's truck race. We couldn't find him. He hasn't responded to us. Anyway, Cory, Phoenix happened, the NASCAR championship weekend. What happened Friday with that truck race?
All right, so I was out of town for most of the weekend. I caught the Cup race, but I did not catch a lick of the Xfinity or truck race. But what I can tell you is that Zane Smith won the truck race, and he won the championship. So I don't know. Apparently the race was hectic and off the perk or whatever, or something hectic happened. I personally can't tell you. But I'll just go ahead and truck through the top 10. Zane Smith, obviously, with the win. Ben Rose in second. Chandler Smith third. John Hunter Nemechek fourth. Stuart Friesen rounds out your top 5. Then we have Enfinger, Corey Haim, Tanner Gray, Caden Honeycutt. What, huh? I missed a lot. Carson Hocevar in 10th. Who cares?
No, Cory, I actually ended up watching the entire truck race from beginning to end.
Who the hell is Jake Garcia?
Yeah, I watched this entire. I ended up watching this entire race, and man, Phoenix, at least from the beginning of the weekend, looked like a perfect place to hold the championship race, because the racing was just great. And even though there was a lot of even though Zane Smith pretty much dominated the race, there was still a lot going on. I mean, from the get-go, with Lane Riggs in that 62 truck making I think this is his first truck start. He started 4th, and he was battling Zane Smith for that lead for the first 30 laps. I mean, this was probably the best. This was probably one of the best truck races of the year, and the trucks have had some great races, and this is insane because I didn't think that Phoenix would cause that much action, especially with the cars, with the trucks strung out. I really thought that it was just going to be a slugfest. We were just going to watch no passing, but no, it was insane. And then, I mean, Ben Rhodes, who had probably the worst truck of the night, of the championship 4. He made a bold move on that last stop to only take 2 tires to get him that track position. But man, Zane Smith, who started 11th on the restart, dude, he made up like 6 spots going into turn 1. That was probably one of the greatest NASCAR overtime drives I've ever seen in the truck series, because we all counted him out. Chandler Smith was also ahead, and as I said, Ben Rhodes was ahead on strategy, but Dude, he literally had the best truck all night, and he took the gamble by taking 4, while Ben Rose took 2, and he still managed to pass him with only 2 laps. Let's see here. On another note, Corey Haim does take Rookie of the Year with his 2 wins.
As he should. Hold on. Let me talk about my boy Corey Haim real quick. It just made me happy. That's all. I was very happy. I've been rooting for Corey Haim and rocking with him for a long time, since like 2020 ARCA when he won at Kansas. So it's very nice to see his progression through the truck rankings, and he's going to be going to maybe my new favorite team. What was formerly DGR is now, what's it, Tricon? Kyle, is it Tricon?
I believe so. That's what they were calling it after
Trident, Gum, Tri-State, whatever, something, Tri-City Hurricane, whatever, into that team, and I'm very excited. I'm very happy.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. Let's see here. A lot of these young guys, these up and comers, like you were just talking about, who the heck is Caden Honeycutt? Like, nobody's ever heard of him. Apparently, he's been running the majority of the truck season. Like, he's had over 15 starts, and nobody's ever heard of him.
It wasn't Caden Honeycutt. It was Jake Garcia. I ain't never heard. He just showed up. Didn't he get a top? What?
He got a top 15, I believe.
What?
Just barely out of a top 15 in 16th. But if you look down the running order, Corey, you see in 20th, Ty Majeski.
We're not going to talk about it.
Well, let's just give a little recap. While battling hard into the top 3, made a very, very ballsy move on Zane Smith. Got to his left rear. Tried to slide up into him. Zane held his ground and then just self-spun it with just a handful of laps to go. Got some front end damage, had to pit. Very unfortunate for the miracle run that they were on. Well, the Truck Series took them 3 months to get the last 2, the last 4 races in. But the Trucks is finally over. Huge stuff that we're going to talk about the Trucks. A lot of silly season going on, especially with the shutdown of KBM, or with the rebranding of KBM, and what that does in Toyota's development program. So stay tuned for that. With that, Corey, we are going to move into the Xfinity race on Sunday.
You mean Saturday?
Who calls for me? Race the tie 2020. What the hell? When did he get in here? Corey, what the hell? What the hell? How did he know we were recording?
Series champ. I don't want to hear a word. None of y'all said Tyler could do it. And what has he done? He's only goddamn did it. Let's get into it. How we doing today, boys?
As I like to call him, the Saturday Night Savior executed.
How we doing tonight, boys?
Welcome to the session, James. Welcome to the session.
How we doing tonight, boys? Ty Gibbs. I don't know what to say about that Gibbs boy. First of all, rest in peace to Coy Gibbs. I know it was terrible for Ty to go off from one of his highest moments in his life to one of his lowest. But God, if Ty Gibbs can't drive a stock car. He drove the doors off of the stock car, whipped ass, took names at Phoenix, destroyed all of Junior Motorsports, ran circles around the entire Xfinity field in the final race, and he got him that championship. People boo him, but they're going to have to cheer him soon because Ty Gibbs is the next big thing, and now people are starting to get it in their minds that he really is, and it's not just Grandpa's money.
Oh, wow. Well, great to have you back, James. We haven't heard from you in like a week. We
Yeah,
thought
he's
we
been
thought
really.
you wouldn't come back after Chandler Smith lost the championship.
Never better. Never better. Never better.
Well, this is awkward as me and everybody else picked any junior motorsports
Any
driver.
junior sports guy. So if we break down the math, I know Kyle, you're pretty good at math. You're pretty good at math.
They
Three
the
junior
junior
no. There
motorsports
was
had a
three
75% chance
junior
of winning the
motorsports guys.
championship.
75%. So I'm just saying, if I were to randomly, I have a 75% chance of taking a junior motorsports guy, only 25% chance to take a second. And there's 4 junior motorsports cars in the field. And none of them could slow. I'm just
I thought, sir,
saying.
I thought you were gonna bust out some Steiner math. I really did. I thought you were gonna do some damn Steiner math and say, man, in Phoenix, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, you only have a 33 and 2/4 chance of beating me. But when you had Sam Mayer and Brandon Jones in the mix, that gives me a 65 and 2/3 chance of beating you. So it's Saturday in Phoenix. That means that I have an 85/54 chance of beating you. I thought that's what you were gonna say, but no, you actually made sense. So
Numbers
that's
don't
it.
lie. The numbers don't lie. And what happened to Noah Gregson, huh? Old Mr. Throw the nuts up on the dash was too much of a pussy
Dick
to
up on the shoulder
sit
better.
and
Dick up on the shoulder
touch
better.
Tiger. He
Man,
was too
I
scared to
feel like
touch
he
Tiger.
really shot himself in the foot by talking all this smack during like all the presses and shit about how he doesn't like him, and that ended up biting him back in the ass, bro. Because like he definitely had the better car, but he fucked it. There's no other way of putting it than Noah Gragson completely screwed it over. Not only that, but
He ruined the streak.
when he noticed he was going to lose, he decided, oh, let's not try to send it in here into turn 1 and 2. Let's go. Let's just play it safe and take this second place after winning 8 races. Like, come on, man.
You talk
Like,
about how you're gonna pay him back and he races with no respect, so you're not gonna respect him, and then you pussyfooted off the gas and you let him ride away in the sunset. That makes me to believe Noah Gregson is a bitch.
man, imagine Dale Jr. not commentating in the booth because he personally wanted to see one of his drivers win the championship. But no, you guys screwed it. Josh Berry was an absolute non-factor the entire day. Justin Allgaier, for some reason, for a guy who's supposedly the Jesus of Phoenix in the Xfinity series, who hasn't even been competitive, like he couldn't even touch Ty Gibbs. And I just feel like Junior Motorsports went into this way too over their heads. They underestimated Ty Gibbs, and they got their ass kicked for it.
I just think it's absolutely insane for one organization to fumble the bag as big as this. I haven't seen this
I
quite.
haven't seen James. I haven't seen this big of an atrocity since when Kevin Harvick missed the Final Four in 2020.
No, that was worse. That's way worse. That's way worse. If I'm being honest, in
Comparisons here.
terms of selling, that was worse. That's way worse. That might be the biggest fumble in history.
Respectable. But what are y'all talking about? I came in here, Ty Gibbs pressed himself. What you guys talking about now?
Well, we just finished about talking about the trucks, and we were just gonna get into these results. But you know what?
Yeah.
Throw that all out the window because it doesn't care anymore.
It is very important to me. Ty Gibbs wins. Noah Gragson second. Justin Allgaier third. Landon Castle. What the hell? P4. All right. Hey, John Mendinger P5. Sheldon Creed with the top 10. Top 10. Daniel Hamrick P8, Austin Hill P9, and Sammy Smith, my boy, 10. And then Brandon Jones 11th, Nick
For all the
Sanchez.
people who don't know, for all the people that don't know and are new to Corey Johnson, he claims
I love Arca.
no,
I
no, no,
love
no, no.
Arca.
He
I
claims
love Arca.
Arca fan and he only gets all the results off of Twitter. He is a fake and a fraud, and no one should believe anything that he says when it comes to Arca.
Weren't you the one that asked me what was going on in the Arca race that we were watching at Bristol? Exactly.
I didn't know what was going on because
Yeah.
you're the only person that
Hey,
very
speaking of Arca people, Nick Sanchez.
The only people that go to Arca races are the family and friends of the drivers, Corey.
I like local short track racing. Let me enjoy my local short track racing.
Let me enjoy my local short track. Shut the hell up.
Don't get mad
And
at
also,
me.
are we not? Why do we never talk about when Kyle Weatherman drags this absolute piece of this lawnmower of an Alpha Prime car to top 15s and top 10s? Why is no one talking about that?
Is
Like,
it
I
Alpha
don't know,
Prime?
James. That's not an Alpha Prime car. Don't disrespect Alpha Prime like that. That is a Jesse Owuji racing built car.
Same. Raja Karuth ran 17th in the Alpha Prime car. I don't know what we're disrespecting. Kyle Weatherman deserves to be in some good equipment, and no one is giving him the good equipment. If we put this man in junior motorsports, he will be a champion.
Why?
And with none of you.
Dog, did you like drink a Monster or like do a line of Coke before you
I
got in
did drink
here?
a Monster for the Saturday Night Messiah, Tyler Ralph Gibbs.
It's the Saturday Night Savior, James.
Do you think I care? Do you think I care?
Well,
You don't care about anything, James. To be honest
James,
with you.
Thing, but this Ty Gibbs championship.
James, I bet your hopes were dashed. Your energy's all drained after we witnessed the most middest race all year, the Cup race.
To be honest,
Everybody is having PB&Js because sliced bread won his second championship, folks.
Kyle, just by you saying that made me want to quit the podcast and go to the other side, if you know what I mean. Never mind. That's not.
That would be a downgrade.
Yeah.
Anyway,
now that I think about it, yeah, it's not worth it to go over to Nash. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not worth it.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, let's see. Joey Logano gets his fourth win and the NASCAR championship.
Ooh.
Boo. This was like one of the most boring championship races I ever watched. I can confirm I fell asleep from the end of stage 1 to the actual end of stage. I missed all of stage 2 because I was taking me a nice slumber because sleep is more important than watching Joey Logano dominate a race. Can I get an
Amen.
You know who would agree, James? You know who would agree with my sentiments? My father.
Anyway, let's go through this finishing order.
Corey Johnson is a raging Joey Logano hater.
Like,
if we can, this is for future. If we can, we will try and get Corey's father on the podcast. You know, just
or at least a clip. We'll get a clip.
At least some clips, so we can share moments with Corey.
If Shell or Pennzoil or Penske is watching this podcast, we will not bring him on, but that is after you sponsor us. If you do not sponsor us, we'll bring him on.
Listen. If you give us some of that nice oil offshore bank account money, listen. You know what we can do for you? My father's opinions do not reflect my own. I am personally Joey Logano's #1 fan. I'm a bigger fan than anyone in existence. I have several Shell Pennzoil hoodies. No, I don't. But if you want to send me something, please. I'll be the corporate shill of the group. I'll sell out right now. Please give me some of that oil money. Please, we need it. We all need it. Please. Anyway,
this episode sponsored by ass kissing. If you ass kiss enough, it will work.
Shut up, Kyle.
All right. Well, let's just get down to stage 3 because that's the only stage that mattered.
Team orders and Christopher Bell had a terrible pit stop. That was it.
Ross sold. Ross's pit crew sold. Elliott sold. Bell's pit crew sold.
And then
And
Chase
I
Elliott just being Chase Elliott, self spin.
self
Hey,
spin.
hey, hold on. Hey, since James got his little ramble in, hey, where are all those Chase Elliott fans, huh? Yeah, come at me now. Self spin, finished outside, worst, overrated.
Dog, you about had an aneurysm right there. I'm gonna need
He
you to
tried
take a deep
to
breath.
walk and he realized Chase is like 25.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, he's not gonna win it next year. What a waste of a season. Waste of 5 wins. Self spin, not Ross's fault. All his fault.
Yes, Kyle, you do you, Kyle. That was about the whole weekend. That was about the whole NASCAR Cup Series race weekend because this was so boring and dull. It like really sucked all the energy out of me. I was in a great groove. I was ready to see some good championship racing, and it really just didn't feel like a championship race. It felt like we were back in the spring. This is something that would happen back in the spring. There was that.
Mm.
And you can't even say, oh, Joey Logano just dominated. There was good racing all around. There wasn't good racing all around. There was good restarts, and the rest of the stage were boring. And then occasionally you had what was the battle? It was Michael McDowell and one of the College cars fighting. Stayed on that.
Nah, Michael McDowell got into a little bit more with a different Chevy. He just blatantly took out Alex Bowman and almost sent him to the back, sent him to the hospital again.
Sent him back to concussion protocol.
Damn.
Blatantly turned him. Yeah. Now, if Love's Travel Stop would like to sponsor us,
Oh my
just
God,
just
Kyle,
cut all of that
Kyle.
out.
Sir, yes, sir.
Anyway, let's look at the results. Joey Logano won, Ryan Blaney P2, Ross Chastain in P3, Briscoe P4, Harvick rounds out your top 5. Then we have William Byron and Kyle Busch in his last race with not only M&Ms, but is Joe Gibbs Racing entirely.
Gotta
End
make
of an
room
era
for that
sure.
Ty Gibbs boy.
That
Gotta
Gibbs
make
boy.
room. And then Denny Hamlin in 8th, Kyle Larson P9, and Christopher Bell sold in P10.
All around, I'd say I know we're not bringing out the rating system, but this race got a smooth 2 out of 10 for me, and the only 2 points it gets is that Chase Elliott was not the champion.
I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10, just by the fact that Chase Elliott didn't win the race. Yeah, I just value that a lot more than what James does.
Corey, your rating?
You know what? I'm fighting some allergies right now, so I'm gonna fight through this. I don't know if you'll hear this, but
Man, made him
10.
sick.
Out of 10.
Yeah, makes
Sick of-
sense. Well,
I'm
this
sick of
this will
I'm sick of
slide
I'm sick of
perfectly.
this shit.
This will slide perfectly into our hot laps segment. Hot laps, where we see if a take is hot or not. This week's segment is Phoenix becoming a good championship race? For this, we will include all 3 series.
I'll
Thoughts?
start us off. No. The racing is really good, but if the only way that it gets the championship feel is that it has to start 10 p.m. my time, that's just that I don't want to watch. Like the truck race had the championship feel because it was at night. But since Phoenix is in the West, the at night is 12 o'clock for 90% of NASCAR's fan base who was on the Southeast, not the Southwest. See, I get they're trying to cadence to NASCAR's other to people like Kyle, NASCAR fans in the West. But I just don't see this being a good championship track. It doesn't have that championship feel when Joey Logano was winning and it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock and sunny outside. It doesn't have that same championship feel. It doesn't have that presence that Homestead had. It doesn't have that big time feel. It just feels like a local short track, and it just feels like we're too entrenched in the purity of that. Then they have like this big spectacle because when they had the fireworks shoot off and the light displays at Homestead, and then they had the burnouts, the pink, blue, and yellow smoke. It was amazing, and now this just doesn't give me any of that at all, and it's just very disappointing.
The truck race actually brought me back a little bit of that because it ended at night, as you said, and just seeing Zane Smith hoisted up with the night sky in the background, it just made it look way better. And I think you're right that as I'm actually growing on the fact that Phoenix is the championship race. I feel that it's actually worked better for the trucks and Xfinity. Not so much Cup, but for trucks and Xfinity, they're solid championship races. Now, the Cup could probably improve, but I'm starting to grow on it. I think that if these guys, if we fix some problems on the next gen car, um, we could theoretically see a better championship race for the Cup Series because it's already worked for the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. Like we've had great shows, but they just need to work on the Cup Series. Like I don't know what they're doing wrong, or maybe because they need to move the times. I don't know what's going on, but they need to change something because it's really bringing down my overall ratings.
Corey, your thoughts?
My conclusion is flaccid and doo-doo water.
Good conclusion.
That is all. That is all.
Well, make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below on whether Phoenix is a good championship race or we should move it back to Homestead where everybody says it should be.
Long pause. Someone say something. Long pause. Someone say something.
Balls.
It is now the off season. NASCAR is finally done. All we are waiting for is F1, and then so next week we will cover F1. But we will throw in some extra segments. Me and the guys have a couple of new segments that we're dying to try out and see if they work. And
As well as yes, because we have people that are asking for a specific someone. Logan, stop asking for Chase. They're asking for more people to be on the show. I know just us can get a little stale, so we're gonna get a couple special guests over the NASCAR off season, F1 off season, IndyCar off season to spice things up. We're gonna rotate guys. We're gonna have more of our part timers in, and you never know. We got to keep it spicy during off season. So
hey, if we grow large enough, we could get some special guests that may be worth your while. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep in tune with all these episodes. We might even increase to maybe 2 episodes per week, 2 shorter episodes per week instead of just one long one.
Also, there could be video essays.
We're doing really good on time. We have 27 minutes.
We could also have video essays posted as a little side series.
Yeah.
A couple ideas
Corey's got
have.
something in the works of his. He's a little side project that he's got. So make sure you subscribe to make sure to keep up on his stuff. It's still gonna be underneath the Driving in Circles podcast, but we might label it as a different series. So just keep that out in mind. With that, we're gonna go to predictions F1 this weekend, Brazil. Who do we got?
I thought you were about to say fucking predictions for NASCAR. I was about to like.
Who we got, guys?
I have Lewis Hamilton. If he doesn't get it here, the win streak of at least one win every year streak is over, and he either gets it here or he gets faded at Abu Dhabi, and I think he gets it here. The race is also scheduled to be a wet weather race. Lewis is the wet weather god. It is all lining up perfectly.
Yeah, you would have to think Mercedes is going to throw everything in the basket for this race. I mean,
Max Verstappen!
Max Verstappen is just going to add up onto his win total.
For no reason either. For no
For
reason.
no reason. He already has it by 2 races now.
Who cares? Run up the skull on him. Run it up. Run it up.
You would think you'd want to give it to
30
Sergio
points
Perez
up on
to
the
increase his
third
points
corner.
gap on third, but okay.
Yeah, let me tell you something, son. Listen, let me tell you something, son. Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin wants to
It's
say
all
Max
getting cut out.
Verstappen.
Of that.
Shut the hell up, James. If you want to see Max Verstappen run up the skull, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because I know James wasn't going to say hell yeah because he's a Lewis Hamilton fanboy.
James, this
And
is all
he
getting
doesn't
cut out, right?
appreciate talent.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, perfect.
Anyway.
All right. And I'll just give it 3
End the
seconds.
blooper.
I'll just give a couple seconds to let it slide, and then you can edit this back
Yeah.
in. All right, my pick is got to be Carlos Sainz. Got to be Carlos Sainz. I'm trying to be different, and plus I did see a lot of memes about that one Carlos Sainz one Carlos Sainz impersonator that made me laugh a lot when he met Carlos and he was talking in his impersonation. So that's what I'm going with. Carlos Sainz. No other reason other than that. He's just a smooth operator.
It's
So
a very terrible reason, Kyle. But I'll give.
hey, you got to pick a Ferrari because we'll get him next year.
Oh,
Anyway, that's it for
you've been
Driving
saying that
Circle
since
Podcast
2007.
episode number 4. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll check you back in next week. James, hit that music.
We don't have any.